You know that feeling, right? That last-minute, high-stakes presentation request lands on your desk. It's a pain we all know. But what if that whole stressful process could just disappear? Today, we're diving into some tech from Evonix that might just be the answer. So let me just ask you this. Imagine your boss needs a gorgeous, completely custom presentation for a massive meeting, and they need it like now. Oh, and of course, there's no budget. Could you pull that off in 2 minutes for less than $1?
I know what you're thinking. No way. That sounds like something straight out of science fiction, right? Well, it's funny you should say that, because it was impossible. Until now.
And this slide just lays it all out. On the left, you've got the old way we're all used to, weeks of grinding, thousands of dollars on design, and just so much stress. And on the right, the EGGA way. 2 minutes, less than $1, and it does it all by itself. I mean, the jump in efficiency is just, it's mind-boggling. Okay, so here's where things get really, really interesting. We're about to take a look at the AI agent that makes all this possible. But there's a little twist, a meta-narrative, if you will. As we go through this, you need to know one crucial detail. The agent I'm about to show you is the exact same agent that created every single slide in this presentation. Yeah, let that sink in for a second. This entire explainer, the structure, the text, every single visual you're looking at was thought up and built by the very AI we're about to break down. So let's meet the artist behind the curtain. This is Evonix, which stands for the Evonix Deck Generation Agent. And at its core, it runs on this really simple but powerful loop. First, it analyzes your content to understand what it's all about. Then, it decides on a creative strategy. And finally, it gets to work crafting the slides, all on its own. So how does it actually think? How does it make all those smart, creative choices? Let's peel back the layers and take a look inside the agent's mind. All right, so this is the full tech stack. You can see it's built in layers, from the data on the bottom to the final output up top. But what I want you to focus on is this blue section right in the middle, the intelligence layer. This is the brain of the whole operation, and it's powered by heavy-hitting models like Claude and GPT-4. And this is a really important idea to grasp. The agent, the large language model, is the architect. It's the creative director calling all the shots. All those Python scripts you see around it, they're just the tools in its toolbox. The source material actually calls them dumb utilities that just do what they're told, like opening a file or doing some math. The agent is the one with the vision. Okay, so we've seen how it thinks, but how does it go from pure logic to creating these incredible, on-brand visuals you're seeing right now? Well, this is the agent's secret sauce for design. It all kicks off right here with something called the visual catalog. The best way to think about it is like the agent's own internal design library or its own private Pinterest board. It's got over 50 different types of diagrams, and it knows exactly which visual to use for which piece of information. So, a team structure becomes a hub and spoke diagram, a project plan becomes a timeline. It automatically picks the perfect visual to make the biggest impact. So once it's picked the right type of visual, it moves on to the prompt engineering pipeline. Now, the agent doesn't just send a simple command like, make a flowchart. No. It programmatically builds this gigantic, super detailed prompt. We're talking over 4,000 tokens, which is like thousands of words for an AI, that weaves together your data, the diagram type, and hundreds of rules from your style guide. And this right here shows you why that whole pipeline is so critical. On the left, you use a generic prompt, you get generic, inconsistent, kind of clip art looking results. But on the right, with this engineered approach, you get stunning, brand perfect visuals on the very first try. No do-overs, no manual fixing. So we've seen the what and the how, but how does this all come together when you actually use it? Let's walk through the full 9-step workflow. You'll see that even with all this automation, you are always in the driver's seat. This is the whole shebang, the entire 9-step process from start to finish. I know it looks like a lot, but the key thing to notice is that it's a complete end-to-end workflow. It starts with your request, analyzes the source material, crafts the slides, generates the PDF, and, this is huge, that last step is updating its own memory, so it actually learns and gets better every single time you use it. Now, what's so crucial about this workflow are these 4 checkpoints. This is not some black box where you just cross your fingers and hope for the best. You, the user, have the final say at every key stage. You approve the density of the slides, you approve the visual strategy, you approve the individual slides, and you even approve the final cost. You are always in control. And here's a quick peek under the hood at that final image generation step. So the agent's made its decisions, the prompt builder has put together that massive prompt we talked about, and boom, it sends it off to the generation API. And what comes back is a perfect, high-res 2048 by 2048 PNG ready to be dropped right into the final deck. Okay, let's zoom out from the technical stuff for a minute and just think about what this all means. Because this isn't just about making presentations faster. This is a glimpse into the future of work, into what people are starting to call the agentic enterprise. Just remember this number, 2 minutes. The entire creative process, from a blank slate to a fully designed, polished deck, done in the time it takes to brew a cup of coffee. And remember this one, less than $1. The cost to get a result that just a year ago would have taken a team of designers and thousands of dollars, it's just incredible. So, let's bring it all home. I think it's best to let Ija, the agent that built this whole thing, say it in its own words. This entire explanation of my existence was conceived and visualized by me in 112 seconds. That's just under 2 minutes. Look, this kind of technology isn't science fiction anymore. It's here. So the final question really isn't about what an AI agent can do for presentations. The real question is, what will you create when you have an expert agent for every single task? What problems are you going to solve? That's the future this is pointing to.